nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, so roll call, please.
Sisson. Here. Zumwalt. Here. Garrell.
Here.
Huffman.
Here.
Hughes.
Present.
Garcia.
Here.
Holloway.
Here.
Kellenberger.
Here. All right, we have a quorum. First up here, we have the city reports. A few updates for you. The first thing is in early September, and Bill Greider, feel free to fill in any gaps here, but we're going to be doing some remodeling downtown, block by block, for our underground infrastructure, for some of the water infrastructure downtown. And I've had some businesses reach out, and I've assured them that traffic will still be able to flow through downtown. It'll be a block at a time. People can still access their storefronts. That will be early September. More to come. Please watch our city Facebook page and the website. We'll post some more official things later. Is that a pretty good summary?
Should be a press release coming out early next week.
Early next week. So pay attention to each of the details, but I wanted to let everybody know. Any questions, let us know. But traffic will not stop, flow through downtown. Just be a little messy for a while, okay? Next up, I don't know if you've had the pleasure of driving on the Clark Extension, but you've probably noticed there's some mowing and other things going on. That's in preparation for the Wildflower subdivision. Lots of things are going to be happening in the near future. And Josh, I think you were telling me about that.
Yeah, I was driving down the road. I think I was out on Saturday and I drove by and I saw that they were out mowing the fields, getting those fields ready. So it was kind of exciting to see, hey, this is the first subdivision that's been built in Litchfield since
early 2000s.
Early 2000s. So it's kind of exciting to see this event happening in the city. And so I thought the public should be aware, especially as they're driving down, they're going to see those big changes beginning to happen. So
privately funded subdivisions. Yeah, correct.
Privately funded, yes.
And then last but not least, this is kind of me. I'm excited. I live out on Lake Lou, and I don't know if you know this, but fiber was run about a year ago out there, and for the next couple of weeks, they're going to actually have modern internet out at the lake. So I just want to let the public know, if you live out on Lake Lou, pay attention. In the next couple of weeks, there's a local company that's going to give you access to really fast fiber internet. So we're entering the modern era in several places of Litchfield. Just wanted to give the public that announcement. But that's all I had in general. Does anyone else have anything they want to add? All right, hearing nothing. The first thing we need here, and there was no public participants signed up, correct? Good to go. Okay, no public participation. First thing we need is a motion to approve the following committee appointments. For the Police and Fire Commission, Mandy Jewell to fill the unexpired term of John Toole, which expires in May. Alderperson Sisson makes the motion. Can I get a second? All right, Alderperson Huffman seconds. I just want to add that Mr. Toole served on that commission for a long time and did a wonderful job. The reason he wanted to step back is he's out of the area a lot and he has to miss some of the meetings. So he wanted to, we want to thank him for his time. He did a wonderful job on that commission, and I think Mandy will do a good job. And was there any further discussion on that? All right, roll call, please.
Garcia.
Aye.
Sisson.
Aye.
Garrell.
Aye.
Zumwalt.
Aye.
Huffman.
Aye.
Kellenberger.
Aye.
Holloway.
Aye.
Hughes.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next year, we'll need a motion for the Economic Development Commission, Jerry Williams, to fill the unexpired term of Ron Norris, which this term expires in May of 2027. Can I get a motion to that effect, please?
So moved.
Motion from Alderperson Kellenberger, second from Alderperson Garrell. Any discussion on that appointment? Roll call, please.
Zumwalt.
Aye.
Sisson.
Aye.
Garrell.
Aye.
Huffman.
Aye.
Hughes.
Aye.
Garcia.
Aye.
Kellenberger.
Aye.
Holloway.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, we'll need a motion to accept the regular meeting minutes from the August 7th, 2025 meeting. Those are forwarded to you.
Did we do the countable? Did they take that?
Yep, it's all.
Okay.
Perfect. Can I get a motion to that effect for the minutes that have been reviewed? Alderperson Garrell and Sisson. First from Garrell, second from Sisson. Any discussion about those minutes or amendments? Roll call, please.
Garrell.
Aye.
Holloway.
Aye.
Zumwalt.
Aye.
Hughes.
Aye.
Garcia.
Aye.
Huffman.
Aye.
Kellenberger.
Aye.
Sisson.
Aye.
All right, motion carries. Next, we need a motion to approve the expenditure report and payroll report for the current period. Can I get a motion to that effect, please? Alderperson Garcia, the first, can I get a second? Alderperson Garrell with the second. Roll call, please.
Garcia.
Aye.
Sisson.
Aye.
Garrell.
Aye.
Zumwalt.
Aye.
Huffman.
Aye.
Kellenberger.
Aye.
Holloway.
Aye.
Hughes.
All right, and then just a note for the general public, the first item, which is actually old business, is item number 3 on the published agenda. And Alderperson Hughes, would you mind doing that motion?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to approve an ordinance amending section 11306 of municipal code to amend requirements for door-to-door solicitation.
All right, we have a first on the floor from Alderperson Hughes. Can I get a second, please? Alderperson Garrell seconds. All right, the floor is open for discussion.
Can I have it for just 1 second? So we went back and forth on this a lot last meeting, and after the meeting, I had a long conversation with Mike McGinley, the city attorney, and the way the city was issuing the $1,000 bond, he just wasn't comfortable with the city continuing to do that, acting as kind of the insurance agent and the holder of that $1,000. So that wasn't really a standard practice, and recommended after reviewing everything and after Kenny, kind of weighed in about the background checks, his recommendation on this, and as it's presented tonight, just completely drops that item C, which had the $1,000 bond, and then last meeting, it was in there to have a background check, and that's gone as well. So that's how he recommended moving forward, so that's how it was presented to you tonight.
And I wanna say too, I looked over the ordinance to make sure I understood this right. We also put something, a stipulation in to say if someone's soliciting and they're, knocking on doors, for example, to say no solicitation sign, or they're doing things that are ordinance violations, that those are things that can cause us to say, we're revoking the right for you to continue soliciting in the community because you're not abiding by the rules. Did I understand that?
Yeah, so the penalty clause is in there as well, yes.
And one thing too, I just wanted to note, one big thing for you was get us in line with the area, correct? We had the
Right.
most stringent.
There was no $1,000 bond for any community. I called, it was during the summer break, I got on the phone one day, I called all those towns that I gave you guys the list last week. I called every one of their city council or city offices myself and was able to collect those numbers. We were stricter than all the way from Springfield to St. Louis. We were the most difficult one, so why would we be more difficult than the capital of the state of Illinois? That doesn't make sense to me.
Perfect, we talked about this at length last week. Does anyone have any questions about the way it's presented now? All right, hearing none, roll call please.
Zumwalt. Sisson.
Aye.
Garrell.
Aye.
Huffman.
Aye.
Hughes.
Aye.
Garcia.
Aye.
Kellenberger.
Aye.
Holloway.
Aye.
All right, motion passes. Alderperson Hughes, you're up again.
I'd like to make a motion to approve an ordinance amending section 94.05 of municipal code to amend requirements for weeds and grass.
All right, we have a motion on the floor from Alderperson Hughes. Can I get a second, please? Alderperson Garrell, you're busy tonight. All right, Alderperson Garrell with the second. All right, the floor is open, and I just want to start the discussion here by saying this was an item that I've had people call me about. There actually, in my view, was a loophole in our ordinance where if you had a property in town and was over a certain amount of acres, you didn't have to mow your grass like people with a smaller amount of acreage. So I looked at this as tightening up the ordinance and holding everyone accountable to mow their grass even if they have a certain amount of acreage. That was kind of my viewpoint. Did you have anything to add?
So basically what was done here was, commercial was added in to maintain the same requirements as a residential lot. There are, pros and cons to this, and I ask that you weigh them out, heavily. Pros would be grass would be mowed and there would be no hay bales out on Corvette Drive. Cons would be there are local people that own some of those lots that are gonna be forced to, mow that grass below 8 inches and incur quite a bit of cost. Mr. Baker prepared a list, I know for you, Jake, that listed out who those people were, that currently would be considered non-compliant and already violating this ordinance before it was enacted. So there's, some consideration there probably to talk about, and then, ultimately it's up to you, you all are the policy setters. We did not include industrial in this, ordinance, which, if we would include industrial in this, that would then force us to mow, right now, 240 acres, below 8 inches, until we close on the parcel on the west side. but then we would still have like the whole west side industrial park where we hold about 30 acres, that we would be then forced to mow and incur that cost by either the street department doing it or putting that on the mowing contracts.
And agricultural too is also not included.
Correct.
There is that agricultural zone which would be included in this, ordinance. So, is there any questions, Jen? Go ahead.
I do have some questions. I understand that people don't like the bales out on Corvette Drive. They've been there as long as I can remember. Did we ever ask the property owners to move the bales, to not keep them on the property? I know there's one out there kind of between, well, like the big open area between Los Rancheros and the new liquor store. It looks like it's been there 10 years. It's just this rotting. Have we ever asked them to move the bales?
Gary, do you know the answer to that?
No, we have not.
I mean, I can
We've
understand the
never had a
bales
problem
being
with
there.
them being there. They pull them off as they need, but we could certainly bring that up to them. One other thing I would recommend is we make the bank take more responsibility for the waterways and the ditch lines out there. Whichever way we go. The waterways grow up in there horrible. That's the worst looking part of the whole subdivision.
And are we talking 3 acres that are contiguous? Like it has to be 3 acres that touch each other? What if somebody has, you know, the lot is only 1.5 acres, but the lot next to it's 1.5 acres, that's 3 acres, so that's, you know what I mean?
So
Are we
anything that's
specifying
zoned,
that?
the size doesn't matter anymore. If it's zoned that way and it's not industrial or agricultural, you're gonna be expected to
So
mow.
that whole area basically from
On Corvette Drive.
on Corvette
Well,
Drive, Thunderbird
yeah.
Circle will have to be mowed below 8 inches as presented here.
As will be others throughout town.
Yeah.
There are others,
But I mean, that's the big area, that's the,
the largest.
And you mentioned the added expense, and I just can speak for me personally. I know if I owned 3 acres in town that was commercial for development, and I had to mow it, it would make me want to sell that property more aggressively as well. That's just me personally, but.
And I think that could almost, if I owned the acreage out there and you passed an ordinance saying that I had to mow it, that almost felt punitive to me. That I'm being punished because I own this property and I've been doing it this way for as long as I own the property, and now you're telling me I have to do it differently. And in hopes that I'll sell it, and I don't think that's fair.
Well, that's not the reason I do it. The real reason is everyone else has to mow their property within city limits, and they've had to do it this whole time. So devil's advocate, now they're being held to the same standard as all citizens, but it can go either way. There's pros and cons to both. I think this is very.
But most
good.
people don't own, I mean, most people don't own that much acreage that they have to bale it. You know, I mean, the Corvette Drive is a,
Well, if you mowed it regularly, you wouldn't have to bale it, right?
but it's a lot easier to do it the way they're doing it. It's a lot more cost effective to do it the way they're doing it. You
So
know,
the complaint was people don't like looking at the hay bales in the field?
So there's a brand new building that's, someone spent a lot of money on out there. It's gonna have their grand opening here in a week or two. That individual, he messaged me a couple weeks ago and he said, what's going on with these I got this brand new building and there's ugly hay bales back here and grass.
Goes to the new liquor store.
Yeah.
The guy does not like the hay bales behind.
That's not the only one. The hotels out there don't like, you know, the first thing coming to Litchfield, having all this,
We've never done
consistently.
anything to say you can't keep the bales here. I think the first step would be, you know,
Yeah, I agree. I don't think the first step is just put a new ordinance in and tell them you gotta mow your grass.
But
Yeah,
here's the thing though, like, if
I
we're
think it's too
gonna,
much of a drastic step.
if we're gonna clean up the city, right? And I don't know about you guys, but I'll speak, I guess, for Josh on it. Him and I field phone calls constantly about people not mowing their yards. And if we're gonna enforce ordinances on people for not mowing their yards, I would think you would wanna do that equally.
but there's a difference between not mowing it and having it mowed and baled. I mean, those lots look fine. They just have big hay bales in the middle of them.
and to
And
be,
in town, it's
they
different.
do have to, they always have had to have a setback from the, Gary, you wanna speak to what?
They have to go 25 feet off the road's edge, no matter if
So they
they've got
maintain
3
a-
acres more or not.
A mode
You gotta keep
appearance,
the
you know,
roads
so
edge
far out,
clean.
and then
The
we're
boulevard
allowed
area.
to,
They are responsible to mow that no matter how many acres they own.
I just feel like we have a lot of, in town, I get questions all the time too. My neighbor hasn't mowed her grass in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever. We have a new ordinance officer that has just started, and I think this is an opportunity for him to start working on what's in town. If Corvette Drive was weeds, you know, as tall as I am, then yes, there's an issue, but it's not, it's bale. I think the first step is to say, could you move the bales out of the fields when you're done? That's just my opinion. I think it's just a very, self-serving move, and I also don't like it when the city exempts ourselves by being industrial. We just exempted ourselves from our rule, and I don't think that's fair either, so, that's just my opinion.
I mean, that wasn't the reason we did the industrial, I mean, I wanna make that clear, we weren't trying to exempt ourselves, but I mean, most of the industrial are being, cut for the most part. I think in general with Corvette Drive, when you come off I-55, that's the first thing you see when you come to Litchfield, and a lot of people don't come past that. What the goal is to get them to come past that. Downtown's another place that we're working on aggressively. So, I mean, I think this is great discussion, and we don't have to have a unanimous vote. I think we should vote on it, it's open to the floor, and if we don't all agree, I think that this is wonderful, and there's pros and cons, and we can continue the discussion, or it'll pass. So, is there any further discussion on this?
I think we wanna be careful that we don't run people out of town instead of bringing them to town. I mean, they come in one way and they smell pot, and they come in the other way. So.
I just
We just have a large population of skunks, that's all. Large skunk population.
That's fine. Why?
Again, if this is mowing grass, right? But if you could take this example to numerous levels, right, over different things, and to just say, I don't know, I think as a new council, and I think, you know, the direction that we've all been heading in is to, with an ordinance officer, is to clean up the city, right, and make it as beautiful as it can possibly be. I think it's just imperative that we continue to move in that direction, that's my opinion, right? And I think it's unfortunate that it seems like it's, you know, happening very quickly to some people, but on the other hand, I think that in fairness to everybody, I think we should all be held to the same standard, we should clean it up. I just, it's not a pretty sight.
And one thing too I thought about is the timing, okay, so at some point they're gonna have to stop mowing the grass and bale it, so, you know, another thing we could consider is pushing this off until we get to, winter time and making the enforcement date start in the colder months. I just wanna throw that out, then that gives them all the way until spring, it's not like a, hey, we changed this, abide by it, I just wanted to throw that out.
I was gonna say that you hit on something there. I think we all agree that, you know, it would be nice if we didn't have big bills there. I mean, I don't think anybody on the council is saying we don't agree with the idea of that being a thing. But I think we're all really just kind of more or less arguing about the process and the timing of it. Are we doing it the right way or not? I think that's a really good option, Jake, to consider like some type of a postponement of saying, hey, we want you to get this in order. You know, we're going to pass an ordinance, because eventually we would have to pass one. There's always someone that doesn't obey the rules. And so we would have to put something in place, but giving them a little bit of time to say, this is coming down the way, we wanna give you guys some, possibilities of, you know, getting this taken care of before we even pass the ordinance, so we don't have that, yeah.
Can I ask a selfish request?
Oh, sure, go ahead, yeah.
There's been a lot piled on my plate, that I didn't realize was going to happen. I thought I was going to be handling things that came up and not, quite a few ordinance amendments. Can we kill this tonight and bring it back in 2 months?
Yeah, I thought we were kind
I think
of posting on
if we're-
emergencies only for a little while.
If we're this back and forth, instead of tabling it and then I have to keep working on this for the next 2 weeks and then keep working on it for the next 2.
Just hold on. So I was gonna ask you, I mean, we can, make a motion to table and wait until, you know, January or December for this to take effect.
It'll have to remain on the agenda.
I know, but I also am fine with voting and not everyone agreeing, which is something that all good governments do. We don't have to all agree. So, I'm gonna leave it to you guys. If it's up to you guys, I'm gonna open the floor to you.
Could I say one thing?
Mm-hmm.
The guy that does the bailing out there is very responsive when I tell him to do something. If it helps out, I can call him tomorrow, tell him to start moving the bales out and get a jump on it, and then whatever happens.
that's the main thing, is the bales, nobody likes the bales. If we can get the bales moved out, then we can deal with this later. Or you can vote on it, I don't
So
care. I know how I'm gonna vote,
so what can we do now if they didn't do anything with bails? Anything, is there any ordinance violation for keeping a bail for, so there has to be another ordinance we have to do for the bails, am I correct?
For
If
bails?
this is what we do?
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
a whole separate entity when we do that, so
So either way, we're gonna be doing an
we're
ordinance,
gonna be doing
cause
something.
there's nothing we can do right now if the bails are
I think
concerned.
Barry had the best idea, call him and see if he can move them, get them moved out of there for now.
I'm sure he would do that by asking.
Go that
He would
route.
get started on it, may take him a few
Can I
weeks
make
to
a
get them
motion
all
that
out.
we table it?
No, I don't think we're gonna table it.
We don't wanna table it?
I'm gonna leave it up to you
I think
guys.
we should push it off, but do we have to table it then?
If we don't table it, then it comes up next meeting. If we table it, it comes up whenever we want it to later, correct?
If you say no, you can bring this up anytime again. If you table it, we have to bring it up again, and then we have to table again, we'll have to table again.
And I just wanna say that I'm definitely in favor of the ordinance, I wanna make that clear. Obviously, an ordinance has to be in place, we just know how that goes, it's just the process of dealing with the public and how things go. But I do.
Voting no doesn't
Right.
eliminate the ordinance, it will eliminate the amendment that was proposed tonight, which was adding commercial into the regular ordinance, so.
And I would like for it to come, I mean, I'd like for that piece to be added,
Yeah.
added in.
We
right?
can hold,
I
yeah,
agree
we
with
can hold
that.
it until everybody's ready.
I agree with the piece of it, but maybe there's a way to consider, like, let's give we kind of give the courtesy call. Let's see if we can let them know this is coming down the pipe in X number of months. It's a good idea, like maybe.
So we can pass it, if it does pass, and then we can make the courtesy phone call and say, hey, can you get these removed, right? Without going to him and saying, hey, you're violating this ordinance right now, right?
I'll just chime in on that. State law does require that the city give reasonable notice to the property owner prior to actually citing them with an ordinance violation.
And also, this ordinance does not make it, there's no violation for hay bales being on the property. The violation comes that the grass has to now stay below 8 inches from here on out.
So
They could leave them there indefinitely until they rot,
Exactly.
but they just couldn't make any more.
So the same guy is doing the baling, do they own the property or somebody else own the property?
They do not own the property.
So it's not them,
The
it would be the
bank
property
owns the
owner that would have
property.
to.
The bank owns the property, and they have let this gentleman come in and mow it and bale when needed.
And how many
He
acres do
sells
they
the
have
bales
there?
off. Excuse me?
How many acres?
I haven't figured it out.
And what's the
Completely, but
limit on the acres that was set?
3 or more acres.
But not according to this, not according to the amendment.
Okay, the amendment, yeah, that's just by.
Well, currently,
zoning.
that's what, the way it is
That would be
now.
completely zoning the way it would go now.
The way it is now, if it's 3 or more acres, they only have to mow the first 25 feet from the road. Below 8 inches.
Can't you also table it till you get more information or that way you wouldn't have to bring it back up at the next meeting or any other till we're ready?
Well, you guys can, here's one thing I would say, you guys are saying no right now, I will not be offended, okay? And
No,
what Adam's saying is, you know, next week, we come up with the same thing and make it just for hay bales, you know, we can do whatever, we won't though, cause Adam just told us he doesn't wanna do that anymore, but we can always tell Adam to do that, but as a courtesy, you know, for the month or so, we can take, you know, I'm just talking out loud. But in my opinion, I think we should vote on this. If it's no, it's no. If it's yes, it's yes. The only thing I wanna open to the floor is pushing the time frame back for it's implemented, because some of you said that if it was passed, it's important to you not to immediately say, tomorrow, you need to do this. Maybe it should be December, and if it's December, they're not mowing, and
Would we need to amend the
we'd have to do
ordinance
it-
to do that? What is the rest of council, because I'm willing to give that, I want the ordinance to go through, I just don't want it to be, I agree with Sarah, we don't want this to be punitive, and we don't want this to be something, that feels like people are.
and we could make a motion to amend, correct? For one specific item in it, the implementation date,
Yes, if council wants to amend it as it's presented now, we would need a motion.
and we need a
to amend.
motion and then another motion, if we wanted to do that, and then vote. Touche.
But you said if we do pass it and we don't amend it, right? What's a reasonable, let's set forth as reasonable.
So with this discussion came up last year, and I believe, Gary, did we agree on at least 7 days notice? Essentially, the city gives notice in writing in a way that is, we're ensuring that the property owner receives it, whether in person, like personal delivery, or however it may be, but the state law does require written notice. And we give 7 days notice. We didn't wanna go any longer because grass grows so fast in the summer that, you know, you got grass that's already 8 inches. 10 days from now, we're gonna have a mess, so.
Perfect, so the question on the floor is, you haven't done it yet, but would anyone else be interested in voting on the amended implementation date?
I mean, I will, cause I'm for the ordinance, I just want it to be, I want there to be plenty of time, because I know this is gonna be a big change for people, and so I'm still kind of right there in the.
So you're making a motion to, same ordinance, just push back the implementation date to December
That's what
first?
the council agrees to, cause I don't wanna make it and then us go ahead and kill it anyway, that's, you see what I'm saying?
Well, we're discussing it. Would someone second that, or you just wanna vote on it as presented?
I'll second.
Okay, so it's December first, everything's staying the same, but a December first, implementation date. I got a first on the floor to amend this ordinance from Alderperson Hughes, and a second from Alderperson Holloway. Any further discussion on that? So, need a roll call on the amended, ordinance, please.
Carroll.
Aye.
Holloway.
Aye.
Zumwalt.
No.
Hughes.
Aye.
Garcia.
Aye.
Huffman.
Nay.
Kellenberger.
Nay.
Sisson.
No,
What were we at? What was the?
We're tied.
Just to clarify, that was the motion to
amend.
To amend it.
Yes.
So we've tied on the amendment as it is.
Yes.
So,
Then I'm tie break. I'm in favor of amending it, yes.
and so now we'll take a vote on this ordinance as amended tonight.
Okay, hold on.
Which, just so everybody's clear, that's as it's presented here, except it won't be implemented until December 1st.
Correct. Any further discussion? All right, roll call on the amended ordinance.
Okay. Zumwalt.
No.
Kellenberger.
No.
Sisson.
no,
Garrow.
Aye.
Hughes.
Aye.
Huffman.
Nay.
Garcia.
Aye.
Holloway.
Aye.
Tied.
Aye.
Okay, Jake.
Motion passes. Thank you for that discussion, everyone. All right, on to the next item, Alderperson Hughes.
I'd like to make a motion to approve an ordinance amending section 119.02 of municipal code to amend requirements for licensing fees.
All right, we have a motion on the floor from Alderperson Hughes. Can I get a second?
I will.
Alderperson Holloway seconds. And just for clarification, a while back, maybe a year or so ago, we had a discussion about Queen of Hearts drawings and expenses for that. We have a local military organization that stopped doing the Queen of Hearts drawing because of that. And the issue was it got up to a $500 fee, and the way they explained it to me was, Queen of Hearts, you could do 1 week of drawings and someone gets the queen, right? And that fee would happen, continue over and over as many drawings as there were. So the main thing I want to do is just make it an annual fee and reduce the fee to $300. And the reason we did it in the first place, and Kenny, you can chime in, was sometimes, you know, if you've been to Mont Olive, the Queen of Hearts drawing draws in a lot of people, and it can be kind of a safety and public concern. Am I correct? And do you remember that initial approval we did, Kenny?
If we get a really large crowd, you may just wanna consider that we can contract for security with anyone. We have a citywide contract for hourly rate for an officer, or if we can cover it with our staffing or whatever, so we just have to keep in mind, if it gets to be large, then we may need some city services like us, or maybe a road closure or something, so just keep that in
And that'd be a
mind.
good problem to have, and we can always, if we do get a large event, adjust accordingly to help the public and with the expenses. So essentially, this was done just to promote people continuing to do fundraisers within the city. So it's just a $300 fee annually.
And right now it's $500 every time?
The Class C, yes, so it's 500, and that gets over, and then you have
So
to do
it's
it, yeah.
potentially $500 every week if they do it.
No, so like it's a 52-week raffle, so 52 cards in the deck, Queen of Hearts. If it's over in 12 weeks, because somebody pulled the Queen of Hearts, that started a new 500 for the next raffle. That would have been 15 weeks. So every time the raffle ended, that,
But theoretically, yes, it could be every.
so this,
They
Yeah.
hold
This was the
between
first of the
1 feet
52,
every-
yeah.
could be, so this goes to a $300 annual fee, I believe is what you.
Correct. But just a little maintenance to make it a little easier, and I think the community organization would appreciate that.
So is that just one fee for any type of raffle you wanna do, as many as you want to do?
The only one that was amended was the 52-week.
The C, I think it was called C on the ordinance.
So like if you, this was, if you wanna do one, we wanna do for LCP, we have to pay a $10 fee, and that's it,
Alright. So
per
for
raffle.
for the normal fundraisers, correct.
This was the only one that was a big deal.
Does that make sense? Any further discussion on that? Roll call, please.
Hughes.
Aye.
Holloway.
Aye.
Zumwalt.
Aye.
Huffman.
Aye.
Sisson. Garrell.
Aye.
Garcia.
Aye.
Kellenberger.
Abstain.
Alright, motion carries. Next up, we have the water department, Bob Garcia.
I'd like to make a motion to approve a resolution approving a first-term extension addendum to the agreement between the city of Litchfield and the city of Mount Olive for the sale of potable water.
Alright, we have a motion on the floor from Alderperson Garcia. Can I get a second, please? Alright, Alderperson Holloway seconds. And Adam, do you have anything you wanna add about this?
So this, kind of snuck up on us, as I wasn't ready, prepared for it, but, Bill Grider prepared the loss tables, so you all have those in your packet and see that, the loss, at the current rate was $41,657.80. And the new proposed rate will be a gain of $24,103. So recommendation is to approve this as presented. I know, Mayor Fleming and Brianne, had conversation with the Mount Olive mayor before this was drafted. This is basically the exact same contract that Henderson has, and everybody was agreeable to that. I spoke to the mayor of Mount Olive again, yesterday, and, he said they're not gonna have this approved before this actually expires because of when their meeting cycle is, but they're ready to accept it, so I recommend moving forward with what's presented here.
Is this something that we're gonna have to do with every agreement that we sell water to, cause, are they all coming due?
They all have, different term limits. Most of them, when they set them up for a 40-year.
How long?
40 years. But every 5 years or every 10 years, they come up for renewal, partially into the, cost of the water. Now, we are able to adjust the prices every year as we move along just with the cost of living. However, the way they are worded now, if we raise our city rate to our city people 3%, then we can raise the others 3%. Take in mind, Litchfield has not raised their city rates to their city residents for several years. So we have not raised the rates to our bulk customers for several years.
So I can break that down a little simpler. If we don't raise it on our own residents, we can't raise it on other people to subsidize the cost, basically, so.
Except for the negotiation.
Except for the every 5 year, or whatever the term is negotiated.
Any further discussion on that? Roll call, please.
Garrell.
Aye.
Sisson.
Aye.
Zumwalt.
Aye.
Huffman.
Aye.
Hughes. Holloway.
Aye.
Garcia.
Aye.
Kellenberger.
Alright, motion carries. Alderperson Garcia.
I'd like to recommend a motion to approve a proposal from Vandeventer Engineering to repair a 15 horsepower motor and pump from the Wendy's lift station for an amount not to exceed $16,158.76, and have the city clerk to issue a payment upon satisfactory completion of the repair and installation.
Alright, we have a motion on the floor from Alderperson. Did you second that, Dwayne? Did I hear you say second? Alderperson Dwayne seconds. Any further discussion on, did you actually say anything, or did I force you into a second there?
No, I'm fine.
I'm hearing things, okay. Alderperson Garrell seconds. Any further discussion on that? You've been so busy today, I just figured I'd let you do another show.
Don't make me laugh, I got it.
All right, hearing no discussion, can I get a roll call, please?
Garrell,
Aye.
Sisson,
Aye.
Zumwalt,
Aye.
Huffman,
Aye.
Hughes,
Aye.
Holloway,
Aye.
Garcia,
Aye.
Kellenberger.
All right, motion carries. Alderperson Zumwalt.
I make a motion to approve an ordinance vacating all unoccupied utility easements along with drainage easements in the I-55 Commerce Center.
I have a motion on the floor from Alderperson Zumwalt. Can I get a second, please?
Second.
Alderperson Huffman seconds. Any discussion on that?
Yeah, I had a question. Can you maybe talk a little bit about what this, Chief, can you tell us a little bit about what this motion is doing, like maybe explain some of the language there?
Gonna defer to the engineer.
Okay, defer to the engineer.
So, as far as why they're wanting a vacation of easements,
Okay, yeah.
yeah,
Okay, so-
just to open up all that ground for building on it, because if there's a public easement there, that restricts them from any type of structure, basically, it limits their control of what they can do with their ground. And what they're trying to build out there, they have there's buffer requirements between it. And we have easements when we laid this out that run all the way down the streets and down all the side lot lines for every individual. So now that's one big landowner, their utilities are just coming in the front door, then after that, it's their private utilities, they can run them wherever they want, they don't need a private easement, so, or a public easement, I mean, so this public easement is doing nothing more than limiting where and how they can develop their ground after this.
Oh, perfect, that makes sense to me. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Garcia,
Aye.
Kellenberger,
Aye.
Garrell,
Aye.
Zumwalt,
Aye.
Huffman,
Aye.
Hughes,
Aye.
Holloway,
Aye.
Sisson.
Aye.
All right, motion carries. Alderperson Zumwalt.
I make a motion to approve an ordinance vacating the right-of-way, retaining easements of where the utilities cross the right-of-way, and granting a private ingress, egress easement to national primers in the I-55 Commerce Center.
All right, we have a motion on the floor from Alderperson Zumwalt. Can I get a second, please? Second. I think Alderperson Kellenberger was the first there, so we have first and a second. Any discussion on this item? Roll call, please.
Garrell,
Aye.
Holloway,
Aye.
Zumwalt,
Aye.
Hughes,
Aye.
Garcia,
Aye.
Huffman,
Aye.
Kellenberger,
Aye.
Sisson.
Aye.
Motion carries. Alderperson Garrell.
I make a motion to approve a resolution rejecting all the bids for the Skyview Drive Street Improvement Project.
All right, we have a motion on the floor from Alderperson Garrell. Can I get a second, please? Alderperson Zumwalt seconds. And Adam or Bill, would you want to explain kind of what's going on with this?
So, yeah, go ahead, Bill. Let you have it.
So, what happened, the engineers had filled out the paperwork, for the bid letting. They had sent that paperwork up to IDOT for IDOT approval. IDOT did approve it, and so it went out for bid. The low bid, contractor was about $200,000 less than the next bid, which was around 177, or $1.770 million. There was the second low bid, contractor had contacted IDOT saying that they were not, the first bid was not qualified, for this job. So after looking into it, they were not qualified. However, it was found that the paperwork that was filled out by the engineer firm did not mark certain boxes. The job any job over $50,000 has to have pre-qualification, for bidders. And, that box was not marked. So now we have to rebid that project, and make sure all the boxes are marked appropriately to fit into IDOT's requirements.
So when's the opening date for the new bids?
September 9th.
September 9th. Okay, gotcha. Hope that makes sense. There's a technicality, so we gotta rebid that. Does that make sense? All right, roll call, please.
Hughes,
Aye.
Holloway,
Aye.
Zumwalt,
Aye.
Huffman,
Aye.
Sisson,
Aye.
Garrell,
Aye.
Garcia. Garcia.
Aye.
Kellenberger.
Alright, motion carries. Now, there's no private session, so can I get a motion to adjourn, please?
So moved.
Alright, all in person Kellenberger, all in person Carol, roll call please.
Zumwalt.
Aye.
Sisson. Carroll.
Aye.
Huffman.
Aye.
Hughes. Garcia.
Aye.
Kellenberger.
Aye.
Holloway.
Aye.
Alright, we are adjourned, thank you everyone.